Hey everybody, welcome back. Devin UG, the original Grognard, and we're back at the table. It's been a while since we've been here, hasn't it? It has. So, what are we looking at today? Well, I think I am at the point where I'm ready to release my playtest kit for the Case Blue module, Bloody Road to Stalingrad for Lock and Load Tactical 5.0 Heroes of the Motherland box set. Those of you who've been following the channel, following my Facebook, know it's something I've been working on for the past several months. The kit has pretty much been done and ready for distribution to playtesters since last week. But for some reason, I've been very hesitant and very nervous about releasing it. I don't know if all designers go through this, but it's like, okay, it's all done. I want to get it out there, but I don't know how it's going to be received. So, anyways, I'm getting over that. I've already shot it off to a couple people. They haven't given me any feedback yet, but it's out there. So what I wanted to do is I do want to open this to kind of an open play test because I realized a long time ago I can't play test my own designs. This is my fifth/second design, depending on how you or count it. So I've done other stuff in the past, but yeah, I just realized I completely lost my train of thought. That's what I get for not getting enough sleep. I can't play test my own stuff. I have in my mind set the way my meta, the way I play against myself, and that doesn't always translate real well with how other people play the game. When I was doing my first design, with the first scenario, I remember I played the stupid thing about 50 times and got it tightened down real tight the way I thought I wanted it, and then I released it, and nobody else was getting the same results that I got in it. So, yeah, that's when I realized, I'm probably not the best judge of my own playtest material. So that's why I kind of like having, I kind of prefer having lots of people taking a look at it, more eyes on it. It's like in the computer programming world. You'll have, 10,000 people find more wrong with the game in 10 hours than you're going to have 10 people finding in 10,000 hours of playtesting. So we are going to kind of do this for an open playtest, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But what I did want to go over is kind of what we're looking at here, what all is going to be involved in this kit, what's in it. Okay, first of all, again, this is the working title for it is Case Blue, Bloody Road to Stalingrad. That probably won't be the final title because I suck at titling and naming my products. I haven't had a single product actually make it to publication with the working title I gave it. But, whatever. So it covers, obviously, Case Blue, Fall Blau, the 1942 German summer offensive in Russia, the drive on the Caucasus and the pie-in-the-sky dream of capturing the Russian oil fields, which would lead to 6th Army besieging Stalingrad and the nastiness that we all know that happened there. So what we've got in it is there's going to be 12 scenarios, which is kind of a lot, I think, for a lock and load module. I don't remember. I'm sure there probably is, but I don't think there's very many lock and load modules that give you that many scenarios in the module. It's going to be coming with 7 maps. We're going to be taking a look at that, and one full sheet of counters, including a lot of new units we haven't seen before. Out of the 12 scenarios, I've got as much of a mix as I can get. I've got urban, I've got rural, I've got mixed terrain types. I've got mechanized assaults, armor on armor, infantry on infantry. I tried to make each scenario different than all the others in the makeup of the forces, what the attacking forces were, what the defending forces were, trying to give as much variety as possible. I mean, if I wanted to, I could probably made 100 scenarios, but after a while, it's like, oh look, another armor on armor engagement. So 12 scenarios was, I think, kind of pushing it in the variety of the scenarios I came up with within the historical constraints. But I think I did a pretty good job. Out of those 12 scenarios, 3 or 4 are Army Group A, which was the southern advance that pushed into the Caucasus, and 8 or 9, I don't even remember right now. That's pretty bad. Are covering Army Group B, which was the northern 6th Army, 4th Panzer Army. They were the ones that pushed along the Don to the Volga and got wrapped up with the fighting at Stalingrad. So we got some new units, so let's just go ahead and take over. I'm not going to get too deep into it. We went ahead and added a couple new skills. And of course, I like objective-based scenarios, so we went ahead and put some objective markers in here. Basically, German side and Russian side, you can kind of tell that. We got some new leaders. Yeah, I know. I'm a narcissist. I put myself in as an armor leader. I designed it. I can do it. Don't judge me. I went in ahead and come up with a new unit, Incompetent Leadership. So if we take a look at this Soviet leader, he's a 6-1-6. So we got special rules for incompetent leadership. Some of the scenarios use a lot of armored vehicles, so I buffed out the crew counters some. And there's some city fighting and pioneer fighting. So we have some flamethrowers and demolition charges. Now, if you look at the counters, no, I didn't do them. They're not two-sided, basically because I suck when it comes to trying to Photoshop and photo work front-to-back counters. So basically what you do is you cut the counter out and then just fold the counter on the dotted edge and then tape it or glue it. It's a playtest kit. What do you expect? We have some new Soviet troop types. We've got some NKVD forces. These are standard, well, not really standard, but these are Soviet infantry using the gold background, but they've got the special NKVD marker on them. Plus, if you'll notice, they're 044 troops. So they're kind of a cross between a Protestant, partisan, and a line unit. We got some special rules for that. We got a bunch of half squads. I'm not going to get into the special rules on NKVD. You're going to have to look that for yourself. Pulled some emplacement markers because there are no emplaced markers in Heroes of the Motherland. So I had to pull some from Heroes of North Africa, Photoshop them up. Buffed out the counter counts for Soviet anti-tank guns because a lot of the scenarios in this are bigger than your normal lock and load scenarios. So I needed more counters, basically. For the German side, we got motorcycle units. We really haven't seen motorcycle units on the Eastern Front. They were in Heroes of Defiance, but we haven't seen it. They weren't in Heroes of the Eastern Front. So we got some motorcycle units, and did I have dismounted? I didn't have to make many dismounted and half squads because they use 144s, and there's plenty of those in the base set. Bunch more pioneers, assault infantry. These are actually going to be pioneers, the 234s. Those are assault and combat infantry. Again, buffing out the German anti-tank guns a little bit. Got some new units here. We got Tachankas. I think, yeah, Tachanka. Soviet machine gun wagons that basically they took a wagon or a cart and stuck a machine gun on it and ran it around and shot stuff up with. It's kind of like a vehicle, but it uses a weapons team counter size. I didn't feel that since it is just a wagon or a cart that it needed a vehicle sized counter. It's more of a weapons team, a really mobile weapons team. So that's a new unit. We got not really too many special rules for them. We got some Martyr 2s. Those we haven't seen those before. We've seen Martyr 1s before, but these are the Martyr 2s. And we got some aircraft. We got Stuka and IL-2 Ilyushins. So we've got some airstrike capable craft in Heroes of the Motherland, and needed another half track, so threw that in there. Got the Stug 3F. We haven't seen that before, so that was, most of these vehicles were actually rather easy to backwards engineer. Needed another PZ2F, so threw that in there. Got some more PZ3Js. There's a lot of scenarios use a lot of PZ3Js. It was probably one of the more common vehicles during Case Blue. But we also have some PZ4Fs. We haven't seen those before. They were basically just like the E. They still had the KWK 24, the short barreled 75 millimeter, but they were up armored a little bit. And then we got some PZ4Gs, which finally had the KWK 48, the long barreled 75. Yes, I know we've got vehicles. Some of these vehicles here, have got the Dunkelgelb tricolor, and yeah, the Germans hadn't switched to that till they were still using the gray vehicles. But it's a playtest kit. Give me some. Just deal with it. Hopefully it'll be the vehicles will all be the proper colors when the module comes out. So we got 7 new maps. We got a couple urban maps because there was a couple very large urban environments that were fought over, Rostov and Kalak on the Don, and a couple other. Oh, well, in Stalingrad as well. Only got one scenario that's kind of in Stalingrad. The hope and the plan is for a Stalingrad scenario in the future. So I didn't really want to do much in Stalingrad because I know David wants to do a Stalingrad module in the future. So, but I still needed to make a couple urban and maps. I love urban fighting. I don't know why. It's just usually more compact. You don't need as many maps. So we got some urban maps here. And one of the unique things about a lot of the area that the Caucasus were fought over, I mean, it was a lot of flat, open nothingness. I mean, it basically, like you're going through Kansas several times over. I mean, it's wheat fields and brush and the occasional hill and the occasional depression and the occasional village and more wheat fields and more... more flower fields and more wheat fields. So we don't have a lot of maps that are anything but that. This is one of the kind of the unique ones. Kind of use this for as you're getting closer to the Caucasus, where the terrain and the vegetation starts to change. But pretty nice wooded. You've got light woods and forest X's. So kind of a cool little map here. But a lot of the maps in the scenario are going to be kind of these big open wheat field with the occasional building type thing. Some of the scenarios, all the scenarios use maps from the base Heroes of the Motherland. And a lot of the scenarios in there, especially with Army Group B, you have to consider any forest or woods hex as a brush hex. I mean, there just really wasn't that many trees in the area that Army Group A was fighting in for the most part. So we've got there's another brush and wheat fields all over the place. Brush and wheat fields, maybe a little bit of woods. This is kind of what the maps are. And then had to do a hilly map. We are fighting in the Caucasus, so there is some scenarios that do require hilly terrain. You may notice that, I didn't... again, this is all just me photoshopping, so, I'm not the greatest Photoshop editor in the world. But, this is wheat hex, so, graphically I may have only done that, but technically it's a wheat hex, so the entire hex is a wheat field. And same with the brush hexes. You don't go for line of sight off of what's graphically illustrated. I just did that just to make it... what I could have done is just made the entire hex, colored the entire hex, brush hex, or wheat hex. But, I wanted to give a little bit of, just a little bit of niceness, more niceness to it, I guess you could say. So we're going to be seeing a lot of very flat, open, well, not really open, lots of wheat fields, a lot of degrading terrain. So a lot of the scenarios, you're going to be maneuvering in the open positions to get good firing angles, or you're just going to be getting up in each other's face. Uh, in the wheat fields, in the brushes, even in the villages and the woods. One thing I am going to do is that since I can't play test my own stuff real well, I am going to be using the, the solo assistant to help me in play testing. Hopefully this will help me a little bit better than me just playing against myself, playing both sides against myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over, head over to the Lock and Load Publishing official website and head to the forums and go to the Lock and Load Tactical forums, and I will post the information on how to get the playtest kit from there. I've kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit about how I was going to distribute it, but I figured that's a good centralized location for me to maintain a centralized grasp of everybody who wants to get involved in playtest kit. Easy way for everybody to contact me, for me to get information out. So if you're interested in being part of the playtest kit, being part of the playtest crew, obviously you got to play Lock and Load Tactical, and you're going to need Heroes of the Motherland. You just can't get away from it. I mean, all the counters, most of the counters, and most of the board you're going to need from Heroes of the Motherland. So you're going to have to own Heroes of the Motherland. There is no Vassal module for this yet. That's probably not going to happen until it gets closer to publication. If it gets published, if David thinks he's going to make some money off of it, and if he wants to invest his finances in taking the chance on this module. So we can't do any playtesting through Vassal because the Vassal module doesn't exist yet, because none of the maps and a lot of the counters just don't exist in Vassal. So I can't say if and when the Vassal module for this will be released. It's just something that's going to be in the future. So anyways, so like I said, if you're a Lock and Load Tactical fan, you should be a member of the forums over on Lock and Load Tactical. It's painless to sign up. Really, it is. Just go and sign up. For as far as printing everything out, so we got 3 sheets of counters. I went ahead and printed these out on card. I went up to my local print shop, just because the printer I have at home is crap, and the maps cannot be printed out on a normal home printer. Plus, I like going to print shop because the detail is actually pretty damn good. I go to my local Staples, and the print quality is a hell of a lot better than I'm going to get here at my place or any other home printer. Now these come on 3 sheets of cardstock, not a big deal. Print them out. The problem comes into kind of getting the maps, and I love Lock and Load maps. I've mentioned this before. They're so tiny, they're so small and so cute. I mean, they're much better than ASL boards as far as size-wise goes, I would say. But you can't print these out on 8.5 by 11 because they're slightly larger than that. So what I did is that when you get the playtest kit, all the maps are going to be on 11 by 17. So what you're going to want to do is go up to the print shop, and there's going to be a little red border around it, and then also listed on each sheet is going to be the key. So brown is wooden building, paved road, clear wall, stone building, what have you. Normally I wouldn't have put that in, but there's some of them like this one. It's like, all right, is that brush? Is that light woods? What are we looking at here? So I had to put that in there. So print them out on 8.5 by 11, and even then it's going to be a little bit too small. So what you're going to have to do is, after you have them print them all out, have them blow up each map by 10%. Now, maybe 9% would work even better, but when I was down there, I did it at 10%. So let's kind of take a look. And at 10% blown up, they're just slightly off. So maybe having them blow up 9%. I haven't gone back to have them try to blow it up at 9%. But, lining it up on one side of the map perfectly, like that where that hex right there, you have just like maybe a millimeter or two difference. So like I said, maybe blowing it up by 9% would work. But again, this is a playtest kit. This isn't ASL. I mean, we don't need to have perfect line of sight, because most of the hexes in Lock and Load are area hexes. The entire hex is the line of sight. I mean, granted, buildings you do have to worry about the edge clipping buildings and such like that. But I for playtest purposes, I think that just the tiniest bit off isn't going to take away or hurt from the playtesting of the game any. So if you're super ADD, it may bug you, and I'm slightly not ADD, OCD. Slightly OCD, it may bug you, but I'm slightly OCD, and it really doesn't bug me because, again, we're looking at a playtest kit here. I was thinking of increasing the map size on my end by 10%, but I wasn't sure how that would translate when it got printed out, and I didn't want to spend the half hour running up to the print shop and printing everything out again. If you're not sure, take one of your own maps with you, because that's basically what I did. I took one of the original maps with me when I went up there. So print the maps out on 11x17 and then have them blow it up by 10%. Overall, I mean, it cost me $11.01 to print this out. Now, I didn't print the scenarios out, but that's, I think, 24 pages, 25, 26 pages of scenarios. And then I do have a map of the Case Blue area showing where each of the scenarios take place. I think that's really cool. I remember that when one of the first war games I ever picked up, right over there. Right there, Panzer Leader. It had a card in there showing where all the scenarios took place, and I thought that was really cool. So I went ahead and included that, and I've got a welcome message, read this first, printing instruction type message, and module rules, because we needed to have the rules. I needed to put in rules for incompetent leadership, the national rules for NKVDs, the Tachankas. There's a few other module rules that I stuck in there. But yeah, that's basically what you're going to get. So yeah, when you see this, head over to Lock and Load Tactical, or Lock and Load the forums to the Lock and Load Tactical part, and you'll see me in there. I think my handle on there is just Devin Heinley or Devin H. But look for that, and it'll probably be titled, Case Blue Playtest Kit or something like that. And the instructions on how to get the PDF file, or not the PDF file, but a link to all the PDF files for the playtest kit will be included. And that's a good way for people to give their feedback to me, and so I can have one centralized location. I mean, I could just throw out my regular email, but I don't have a professional sounding email. I don't have a devin.heinley@gmail.org or what have you. I got my silly off the wall, email, same email that I've had for 17 years, my same Yahoo mail. But so I don't want to use it's just not as professional, my regular email. So yes, I could make up an email, a professional email, but we'll just do it through the forums. That'll make it easier. So yeah, head on over there, sign up, look into it. That'll give you the instructions on how to do it. I don't know how long the playtest is going to go on for. I'd like it to go, well, as long as it needs to, really. I mean, I can't put a time on it. There's 12 scenarios. I don't expect everybody to play all 12 scenarios. I expect people to, at least, play one or two or three a couple times through and give me feedback on them. And the scenarios are in rough condition right now. I mean, I'm just theory crafting on how many turns it should take you from my own experience with the game. I could be completely off. don't pay too much attention to what I've set down as the turn length. If you don't beat the scenario, or if or if you don't win in the amount of turns, don't stop playing. Just keep playing and tell me how many turns it did take you to get the objectives, and then from there I can figure out, as I get more people's input, how long the turn should actually last. Some of the forces, I got plenty of ideas on how to buff up both sides in most scenarios. I didn't want to stuff everything into it, because I mean, I do want, kind of be, one, historical, but two, also playable and balanced, and that both sides have an opportunity to win. So, there may be some scenarios, depending on whatever circumstances, that one side's stronger than the other. That's okay. Tell me. I mean, I can buff up the other side. This is what playtesting is for. This is not my validation that my original ideas are going to work. It's just a stepping stone. This is a starting stage. If something doesn't work, we need to find out now, so I can change it before this goes to the printer and goes out for regular publication. So, and that's my philosophy anyways. That's always been my philosophy on playtesting. So, and yeah, this is, I got a new camera, new phone. Well, not new camera. No, well, it is a new camera, new phone. I'm thinking it takes better pictures than it used to. I really won't know until I get this up on YouTube and watch it. So hopefully we'll be seeing a lot clearer videos than I've had. So yeah, I guess that's all I got. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section. I'll see you in the next time. See ya!